Good day, everyone. Today we'll be diving into an essential concept in Java programming, which is methods. But before we start, let me ask you, how many of you have ever followed a recipe to cook something? Yes, many of you. Think of methods in Java as recipes. Just like a recipe tells you how to make a dish, a method in Java tells the computer how to perform a specific task. Let's take a closer look at the structure of a method. Here's a simple example. We have the components public. This is the access modifier. It defines the visibility of the method. Public means it can be called from outside its class. Int, this is the return type. It indicates that the method will return an integer value. The add numbers, this is the method name. It should be descriptive and follow camel case notation. Int A, int B, these are the parameters. They act as placeholders for the values that will be passed to the method. Return A plus B. This is the body of the method. It contains the code that defines what the method does. Now let's create our own method. Here are the steps. First, you define the method signature. Second, write the method body. Third, call the method where needed. Example, this method doesn't return any void and simply prints a greeting. Method overloading. Method overloading is a feature that allows us to create multiple methods with the same name but different parameters. This makes our code more readable and organized. Here's an example. We have here multiply method and the multiply uh, in int and as well as in double. Notice that both methods are named multiply, but one takes integer parameters and the other takes double parameters. Passing parameters. When we pass parameters to a method, they can be of any two types: value parameters or reference parameters. Value parameters pass the actual value, while reference parameters pass the address of the value. For example, the method here modify array modifies the first element of the array by passing the reference to the array. Returning values. A method can return a value to the caller using the return statement. The return type of the method specifies what type of value will be returned. For example, in this method, the is even method checks if a number is even and returns a boolean value true or false. Recursion. Recursion is a technique where a method calls itself to solve a problem. It can be a powerful tool, but it should be used with caution to avoid infinite loops. In this example, the factorial method calls itself to calculate the factorial of a number. To wrap up, here are some best practices for working with methods. Number one, keep methods focused and concise. Number two, use meaningful method names. Number three, avoid deeply nested methods. And fourth, comment your code for clarity. Following these practices will make your code more readable and also maintainable. Now let's have an example of writing methods in Java. First step, we define the method signature. The method signature includes the access modifier, example public, the return type, example int, double, float, or string, the method name, and the parameters if there are any parameters. Here's the basic structure. We have the public access modifier, then the return type should be next. Then you have to write the name of the method and then identify what are the parameters needed. Second step, you write the method body. The method body contains the code that defines what the method does. Let's create a simple method that adds two numbers. In this example, we have the access modifier is public. The method will return an integer value. It means that when the method is called, it will give us an integer number. The add numbers is the name of the method here, and based on its name, its purpose, this method is supposed to add or provide the sum of two numbers. So, in order for this to function, we need two numbers, and those numbers will be coming from the parameters integer a and integer b. Here we have the return statement a plus b. The return statement will give the final value, the final sum of a and b, and that will be the value that the add numbers will return to its caller. Here, the public again is the access modifier that makes the method accessible from other classes. The int is the return type that indicates the method will return an integer value. The add numbers method name that describes what the method does. And the parameters int a and int b, those are the parameters that the method takes as input. Then the return statement a plus b, that's the body of the method that returns the sum of the two parameters. Step 3 is we call the method. To use the method, you need to call it from another part of your program. Here's how you can do it. In the main in our main method, we have um, in the main class rather, we have the main method and our add numbers method. In the main method, we are creating an object of new main, and then we have the int sum is equals to the object that add numbers 5 3. So this is when we are calling, this is the time we call the method add numbers. And then we print the value of the sum. The sum will get the return value of the method add numbers, and the parameters that will be added are 5 and 3. Again, we have the main object equals new main statement that creates an object of the main class. Then we have the statement int sum equals object that add numbers 5 and 3 that will call the add numbers method. It will execute the method with passing the values 5 and 3 to the parameters. And it will store the result in the variable sum. That means the result of this method, the returned value, will be stored to sum. And the system that out println statement, it will print the sum is and then the value of sum. Let's have another example with another method. Let's create another method that prints a greeting message. First, we define the method signature. Public void print hello. Here our access modifier is public and the return type is void. So when the return type is void, it means that the method will not return any value. And the name of the method is print hello. And notice that there are no parameters inside the parentheses here. Next, we have the body of the method. We are simply printing hello world. Then our call to the method from the main method is in this statement object that print hello. So this statement will simply execute the method print hello. In summary, creating a method in Java involves three main steps. First, define the method signature. Second, write the method body with the desired code. Third, call the method from another part of your program. Practice creating your own methods to become more comfortable with the process. If you have any questions or need further clarification, feel free to ask.